Hey, good evening. I'm really happy to have you here. My name is Daniel. I was a professional opera singer and beatboxer, and tonight we're gonna be listening to Toss a Coin to Your Witcher from Netflix's The Witcher. So, I've not seen The Witcher, I've not heard any music from The Witcher, and I've only heard Dan Vasc once singing Nessun Dorma on the channel, and if you haven't seen that, go check that out, please. I think he's a really, really unique and interesting vocalist who I'm really excited to just explore more of, especially in music that I've never heard before, and if he's able to sing more of in a genre that he's more adjusted to, I'm much more really interested to hear how he handles and tackles the music that is more intuitive for himself and his voice. So I'm really excited to jump into this, and I hope you guys are as well. So without any further delay, let's just do it.
When a humble bard graced to ride along with Geralt of Rivia, along came this song. From when the white wolf fought a silver-tongued devil, his army of hells, his hooves did they revel. They came after me with massive foe to see, broke down my loot and kicked in my teeth. Wow, that those horns men so tender me, and so cried the witcher, he can't be bleed. Toss a coin to your witcher, oh valley of plenty, oh valley of plenty, oh. Toss a coin to your witcher, oh valley of plenty. At the edge of the world,
Nice!
fight the mighty horde that lectures and breaks you and bring to the mold. He thrusts every elf far back on the shelf, high up on the mountain from whence he came.
Ah, nice!
He wiped out your past, got kicked in his chest. He's a friend of humanity, so give him the rest. That's my epic tale, a champion prevailed, defeated the villain, now for him some hell. Toss a coin to your witcher, oh valley of plenty, oh valley of plenty, oh. Toss a coin to your witcher, a friend of humanity. Toss a coin to your witcher, oh valley of plenty, oh valley of plenty, ah. Toss a coin to your
Yeah!
witcher, a friend of humanity. Wow!
Nice! Ah!
Hey my friends, it's great to see you today. For those of you who don't know, I'm very passionate about the Witcher franchise. I think Witcher 3 is a strong name for the best game of the last decade, in my opinion. But hey, let me know down in the comments below if you want me to do more Witcher songs. There's still Priscilla's song from the game, there's still the song of the White Wolf from the show. Let me know below what should be next. For those of you who are new here, well, first of all, welcome. Feel free to browse around in the channel. We're all about powerful music over here, especially power metal, heavy metal in general, and rock and roll. I hope to see you next time. Until then, my friends, have yourselves an epic day.
Yeah, he seems like a really chill dude. I love him. I love him. I love his energy. Ah, dude, that was so dope. And he structured that piece so well. throughout the entirety of the piece, it was a very slow progressive build until you just really lay into these powerful screams and this intense ruggedness in his voice when he just gets to that climax. Oh, it was so good. And something that I mentioned in his Nessun Dorma video, where he does the same thing here, is his diction. How much he lets you know exactly what it is that he's singing. His words aren't muffled, and his intonation, the way that he sings the words and how crisp each of the consonants and vowels are, so clean, so consistent throughout the entirety of the piece. Even when he's scream singing, he's just like, you could just completely still understand him even in those intense dynamics. Man, dude, that was freaking awesome. I really, really dig that. I love this kind of music, man. It just gets you so hyped, so ready. Man, I might just have to watch The Witcher now just because that music was just so epic. But it could just be Dan's take on it that was so epic. But man, dude, that was... ugh. Got my heart beating quick. Let's just jump into this analysis.
When a humble bard graced to ride along with...
I love that. Just right in the beginning. Just doing this vocal fry scoop into the note. When a humble bard ride... kind of thing. Where you feel this just gentle emotional tug of when... measure one. You just feel this emotional tie immediately with Dan, and you're like, okay, well, I'm now immediately connected to him, which is great because now he can just lead you directly through the rest of the song at his pacing, and that is really great. I love that in an artist. Where instead of feeling lost in their music, they're with you the entire time and guiding you through the music at their tempo, at their speed, and that's really cool.
With Geralt of Rivia, along came this.
I love how gentle and tender he is here, too. This is really great storytelling as well. Not just in terms of the actual story, but in terms of the way that this piece is structured. Where if you were to take a typical example of the hero's journey, you would have the young, naive, but full of potential hero. And that hero needs to have a call to action. That hero needs to be able to get his mentor, practice, train, and then go off on the quest. And to have this intro, to have this very tender, yet still full of potential sound quality. It's really, really great because you can feel the potential ready to explode, ready to grow, but it's still really powerful even in this tenderness. And that's just very difficult to control in general when singing. So really great stuff from Dan here. That was a nice consistent vibrato.
From when the white wolf fought a silver-tongued devil, his army of hells, his hooves did they revel.
Ooh, I like the way that was carried. Day revel. It just felt like a very gentle glide back into the note. Really cool. And again, his diction.
They came after me.
They came after me. So something I mentioned in the Nessun Dorma video is he does have the certain level of jaw tension and a little tongue tension in that, which does restrict the sound. But here especially, he's not singing classical music. He's not singing opera. He really does want this kind of sound quality, this kind of restriction. So that way when his screams come in or when he grows into a much bigger, larger dynamic, that the sound contrast is just so enormous from a restricted, intense sound to an explosion, open sound. And having that dichotomy is really, really excellent. I love this type of singing, regardless of the tension in his body. He's really just emphasizing how great this particular genre of music is, and I love that.
With massive fantasy, broke down my lute and then kicked in my teeth. Wow, that those horns meant something for me.
Horns! Yeah, just so in your face, so forward through his mask. Yeah.
And so cried a witcher, he can't be bleed.
I love that. Witcher. Not He could have done if he wanted to, but the Witcher. it keeps the sound a little bit more open and allows the sound to flow a little bit easier, because R is really crunched. You bite down on it a little bit too much, which for this genre wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but I like the fact that if you keep it open, you have more options to explore when moving into the next musical phrase, because the can immediately lead into other potential approaches to the next musical cadence, where R, you would probably have to end the musical cadence and pick it up again. And I like having that open-ended kind of thing instead of whicher. So I really dig it, is what I'm trying to say.
Those horns, when so tender me, and so cry the witcher, he can be bleed.
To be that tender and still keep that vibrato as consistent as he is very, very difficult. And I don't think people give enough credit for that. So to create vibrato, you need support in your body. And the idea of having support is when you breathe, yes, you expand your diaphragm, not through your chest, but when you breathe, the mental image is that the breath comes in through the bottoms, the soles of your feet. It charges your feet, charges your legs, travels up your legs into your diaphragm, expanding your diaphragm, going into your chest to resonate, passing through your larynx and coming out through your mask. But essentially, support is an entire body experience. And the difference between a straight tone, which is where you are supported but the breath isn't spinning, in comparison to spun breath, which is and you just feel that breath constantly spinning and circulating, allowing it to be filled and having that strong support. But you guys can't see it on the camera, but when I have that support, even when sitting down, both of my feet are firmly planted on the ground. I feel the energy charging my legs, expanding my diaphragm, and coming through. So if you're going to do a very tender vibrato, it takes so much control over your breath and so much control over your vocalized sound and how you resonate that sound in order to create this feeling of tenderness while still having strong support in the sound quality in and of itself. It's pretty much the adage of being a warrior in a garden. Just having an enormous amount of strength, but just participating in a very gentle activity. And I just love that level of control. He's doing an amazing job so far. Oh, and I just love that intensity he has in his body the moment the beat really just kicks in. I already saw it before when the guitar was really ramping up, but man, just having that jolt in his body, really charging himself up. Again, you wouldn't kind of see that kind of force in classical music, because the whole point is to keep your body as relaxed as possible, allow as much support and power to charge your body as much as possible, because you're never mic'd in opera. You're always just singing to the back of the auditorium or theater or outdoor venue or whatever with only your voice. But that's for opera, not for opera singing, which could just be recitals, in which case a performer might be mic'd. But my point is the fact that in this particular genre, it is about strength, it is about power, but it's also about approach, it's also about technique, and it's also about sound quality and the way that you charge your voice through your own technique and your own unique sound and style. And he's doing such an amazing job with that. And it's not plenty. It's a darker E sound, which again allows more options to move into the next cadence. E is a little bit, it's very bright, which is fine, again, but to have this darker sound allows for more darker sounds to come through, especially in this kind of atmosphere that he's building, which is a really good touch. And I love how much fun he's having. You could just see it in his face. His eyes are smiling. His face is just radiant. And oh my gosh, there's just this incandescent energy that's just emitting off of him, or just being extricated from him, rather. And you just feel that intensity. And it's such a positive energy, too, that you just really want to rock with him. You really want to keep following him. I love it when musicians can just act like even if they're not leaders in their personal life, just if they could be a leader in their music. Oh man, it's such a great feeling as an audience member because you want to connect with an artist. You want to be able to enjoy their music. And if they can just say, come with me, I have the confidence to show you what I'm capable of. Oh yes, yes, That was a great yell because it wasn't too overpowering. It didn't have too much of a scratch in his throat. It felt actually pretty smooth, even though there was some tension and restriction, which I'm assuming is intentional in this case, because we're still not at the climax yet. We just want a little taste of what's to come. And the way that he tapered that, and you just feel that drop off. Oh yeah, because that drop off allows a new explosion into a much bigger sound. And yes, the pacing of this piece, chef's kiss, dude.
At the edge of the world, fight the mighty.
I commented on this already, but dude, his intensity. I love this so much.
That matches embrace you and bring to the more.
Oh, and I love that too. He didn't glottal on the second one. And by glottal, I mean so when he did more, there was an attack on that second note, but it wasn't more, where I definitely have heard some other metal singers have that kind of sound in their transition of notes. But to have a little bit more fluidity and connectedness, more, in comparison to more, I really love that connectedness. It feels much more like the pacing is being penned rather than stabbed. So I really love that about his approach to this piece. Yeah. Oh, and just that straight tone into that open spinning vibrato. That's actually a really great musical theater technique which he's incorporating into the sound, and I really, really love that. That was so well executed. It's actually very difficult for me personally as a professional in the field to create straight tone because all of my training has been so focused around vocal pedagogy and controlling the body and constantly spinning that breath, even on spoken lines. Like I remember when I was doing Don Giovanni and I was playing Leporello, which is a lead role in one of Mozart's most famous operas, even in spoken lines where I need to really keep this pace consistent. Io deggio ad ogni patto per sempre abbandonare questo bel matto, eccolo qui, guardate con quell'indifferenza, and it just keeps the flow going, but the breath is constantly spinning. Madamina, il cavallo è questo. And it's very difficult for me to keep a straight tone because my breath is always spinning all the time. So for him to keep this straight tone and then expand it into this spinning breath to create this really rich vibrato. Oh, dude, he's doing such an amazing job here. Amazing vocal techniques he's working with right now.
He thrusts every elf, far back on the shelf, high up on the mountain.
Just the way that his diction is so crisp. His mouth is just forming around every single word. And, dude, you rarely get this in this genre of music. It's so nice, dude. I love it. You rarely get it in any kind of music. People usually cut corners, I hear, in a lot of different genres of music, whether it's rock or metal, or in some cases even classical music or pop music, or I've heard folk musicians even cut corners in terms of their diction. But nah, he's just full engaging with every word he's saying. But it doesn't feel choppy in this instance. It feels much more penned and wave-like, and I really dig it. Oh, there's that technique again. Oh, and just the way that he tapered that way, and then immediately explodes into this yell. Oh, dude, why is this so freaking amazing?
That's my epic tale, a champion.
His charisma rolls are just like, he's just rolling nat 20s on these charisma rolls, dude. He's just such a beast. He's he's just got such a high level of charm and charisma. It's incredible. Yeah. And I like the way he closes some of these consonants. And I've mentioned this before in several other videos, where even if you close a consonant, the musical phrase is not ended. You're just creating a different sound texture within a musical cadence. With valley of plen instead of plenty. And just waiting till the end of the note to put the N on there. But no, he just immediately closes it and uses that N to connect to the rest of the musical cadence. Like, let's listen to that again. Yeah! Nice! Yeah, and in the first one he did a oh, and now it's ah. And these aren't words, obviously. They're vocalized emotion. These are just sounds to really emphasize the connection from the artist of ah or oh kind of thing. So to have the level of emotion that he is while still controlling it within the context of the piece is really, really important. So with that being said, do I think that he could have made those words a little bit more emotionally driven to create a deeper impact of what those non-words are? I think he could have. But that being said, it still fit very well in the musical cadence, and I think it was still really well executed. That's so amazing. His scream is so his scream is so good. It's so good. It's so in your face, and it's so powerful, but it's not out of tune, and it's just so. I feel like I can breathe. Yeah, and he's doing something really great here at the end of the piece too, where something I see a lot of classical musicians do, but just musicians in general, but I'm just more exposed to classical musicians in my day-to-day. So oftentimes when a piece ends, the vocalist will just immediately get out of the world. But nah, you just still feel that intensity because the music isn't done yet. The instruments are still tapering out or still playing their final notes. So you still have to engage with the music. You're still on stage engaging with your audience. Even though your lines are done, that doesn't mean that the music is done. So to still have that intensity, to still not disconnect, and to still keep leading them, even though you're finished with your lines, that's so important and impactful. And this fade out is very reflective of that, where it's not just a cut, it's a fade out. It's a taper out into the end of the piece, which is very, very important and very well done. Yeah.
Hey, my friends, it's...
I wish he didn't just immediately come back into that. I wish he stewed in it a little bit more, but it's fine. It's still really cool. Really, really great stuff here, Dan. I enjoyed this so much. So much. It was so great. I loved this. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. If you guys liked it, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And if you didn't like it, please leave a dislike and let me know why in the comments. I do read all of the comments, even if I may not heart or reply to all of them, so please just know that your comments do not go unnoticed, and I do take them into further consideration as I make future videos. My live streams are currently Thursdays at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That is subject to change, but that is what it is right now. And there, you can ask me any questions you would like about me, about the channel, and I will do my best to answer them openly and honestly. I leave all of these live streams up on YouTube, so feel free to check them out at your leisure. I typically really like talking about philosophy, psychology, sociology, ideas, concepts, interests, and pretty much anything that allows me to grow as a person and allows me to become a better version of myself and allows me to connect with you all and build bridges with a myriad of different types of people. So if you would like to stop by, my live streams are again at Thursdays, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. My Patreon is still under development, and I still really appreciate your patience in that regard. The skeleton of it is already made. I just have to make a lot of content for it, and making that content on top of my already busy schedule is rather challenging. So again, I really do appreciate your patience in that. And hopefully I'm very excited to share that with all of you, and I hope it'll be really worth it when it's launched. I deeply appreciate all of you being here. It really does mean a lot to me, and I can't wait to see all of you in the next video. Have a great rest of your evening, everyone.